On the edge of town, where maps faded, children whispered about Ghoulwood Grove, a mysterious copse that seemed to listen. This Halloween night, Mira, teased by her brother Sam, chose the path through the trees, her curiosity guiding her steps. The trail smelled of damp pine and old paper, shadows pooling like waiting stories. Mira held her lantern high, its warm light painting the roots golden. At a crooked fork, she found a moss-covered gate carved with tiny pumpkins and keys. The latch clicked open as if it had been waiting for her. Beyond the gate, the grove opened around an ancient tree, its bark holding cheerful faces when the moon was kind. A soft voice, like wind through pages, greeted her. A child-sized figure in patched clothes and a crown of acorns stepped forward, his eyes bright as glass marbles. "I am Pip," he said, "the keeper of small things misplaced by busy days." Pip led Mira to other gentle residents, Old Whistle, who hummed lullabies, and Lark, who braided moonbeams into ribbons for sleepy cats. Mira learned Ghoulwood was a library for stray moments people lost. Ghoulwood was a place where patience grew like ivy and fears were comforted, not eaten. Paper boats drifted on a starlit stream, a pair of shoes danced with no feet, and a forgotten carousel horse rocked with the memory of giggles. The grove's hauntings were kind, mending missing laughs. But tonight, the grove wore a thin worry. The hollow clock, its timekeeper, hiccuped, and if time here stalled, the lost things might wander back to town without their stories. Mira, whose hands could sew small things whole, offered to help. They followed a ribbon of mothlight to the hollow clock, a lantern-shaped contraption hung between roots, sewn from watch springs and leaves, its pendulum a spoon. Moss had tangled the gears, and the clock sighed in hiccups. Mira opened her satchel, and with her grandmother's needle, threaded fine silver thread through the tangles. Each stitch was a small promise, every tug a careful apology to time. The clock slowly resumed its patient rhythm, its spoon pendulum swinging with a soft, certain clink. When the clock's heartbeat returned, the grove exhaled, laughter popping like corn among the leaves. As thanks, the grove offered Mira a keepsake, a tiny key carved from twilight. Pip warned the key was not for greed, but for remembering and repair. On her way home, Mira stopped by Mrs. Alvarez's porch, a widow who had not wound her music box since her husband died. The music box sat silent, its brass latch stubborn with years of quiet. Mira remembered the grove's promise, and with a careful hand, slid the tiny key into the lock. The box sighed, and played a brittle golden song that smelled of cinnamon and old letters. Mrs. Alvarez's face softened into a smile, as if a petal had been nudged back into place. In the weeks after, little miracles spilled into town. People spoke softer, left an extra coat by the gate, and the town's map ink darkened, as if some places had become truer. Each Halloween, Mira and Sam returned to wind the hollow clock and trade small stories with the grove. They learned the grove thrived, not because it hid from the world, but because it kept the things whirled, wary folks forgot to tend. Sometimes, when lanterns sway and children pass the path, they pause and hear a voice like paper, rustling say, "Keep one key for kindness, and sew your stories with care." So Ghoulwood Grove slept between Halloweens, full of mended things and patient ghosts. And if you ever lose a button, or a little luck, you might find the path that leads, gently, to its heart.